If you've ever played Quizlet Live in your classes, you know it's super fun, easy to use, and very low prep. What I wanted to do in this video is share with you a few variations to keep the game from going stale so you can keep playing it even at the end of the year when you've been enjoying it all year long. Hey, it's Ashley, aka Señorita Spanish, where I provide easy-to-use resources to save you time and energy in your classes. If you're new here, I just want to make sure that you know that links to everything that I mentioned are going to be down in the description box below. So first off, really quickly, what is Quizlet Live? Quizlet Live is a game that's through Quizlet, the website, where you take sets of vocabulary or different flashcards that you've created, you click a button and it turns it into a game where it pairs the term and a bunch of different definitions and students have to select the correct one. They are randomly shuffled into teams to work together to play this game, and it works so that way if they get something wrong, it kind of freezes them and resets them. And if they don't work together, it's kind of frustrating for them. So it really encourages that team building and relying on each other in the game. So variation number one is silent tag team, and in my classes we usually call this shoulder tap instead. You'll see why in a second. In this variation, you're going to set up your desks so students can place 3 to 4 computers in a row. It just depends on how big the groups they'll get shuffled into by Quizlet. They'll put all of the computers in the row facing the same direction, and 2 of your students are going to be seated, and 2 of the students are going to stand behind them. Everybody is going to be able to see the screens. The students who are seated are going to put their heads down on their desk like this, and the students who are standing are going to remain standing. When the game starts, the computer screens will show them all of the options. The standing students are going to look at the computers that are up and in front of them, and they're going to determine which computer has the answer together silently. Once they figured out which of the 3 or 4 computers has the answer, they're going to tap the shoulder of the teammate that has the computer to indicate which one it is. So if a student is sitting with their head down and it's this computer, their teammates are going to tap them on this shoulder so they know, okay, I'm going to look up and I'm going to look at this computer, and they're going to pick the answer. And then they'll put their head back down and they'll continue because the game will just keep moving along. They want to move quickly, right, just like the regular version of Quizlet, but they're working silently and they're working as a team. The reason why we call this shoulder tap is pretty obvious, right? They're going to tap them on either shoulder. When they get split up into groups of 3, so they have 3 computers, I have students tap right, left, and upper, middle, back, like that, right underneath or right in between their shoulder blades. I have them tap upper, middle, back, just so they know, okay, is it the left computer, is it the middle computer, or is it the rightmost computer? I do not shuffle teams every single round we play this game. Instead, what we do is we play the round, and then the people who are standing become seated, and the people who are seated become standing. They just flip roles. Something that I love about this variation is that I love that students are working together to determine the answers rather than looking at their own screen and working. While they can talk to each other in the regular version of Quizlet Live, this is a lot more teamwork. And I also love that it's silent, so that if a class around you is testing, this is the perfect variation to pull out. So you're still doing a review day, you're still having fun. Okay, variation 2 is not very quiet, is relay. And this is a little bit tricky depending on the space you have provided. We'll talk about that in a second. The way that relay works, you have to kind of set up the game a little bit differently. So Quizlet Live is going to shuffle your students into their teams just like usual. My students in my classrooms usually are seated in groups. So what I will do is on their group of desks, like say there's 4 desks here, I'll put all of the computers on one side of the group, all facing the same direction. 3 students will be 1, 2, 3 in a line, and the 4th student will be over here facing all the computers. They'll look at all the computers, they'll click, and then they'll run around the group to the end of the line, and the person who's at the beginning of the line goes to facing all the computers, and they did the next one. So they're going to go around in a circle around the groups. That way I don't have to rearrange all of the desks, and they can still play this kind of shoop, shoop, shoop relay style game. If I feel like moving all the desks, or if for whatever reason it doesn't work to have them do this in groups, or maybe they're seated in rows for whatever reason, what you can do instead is you put all the desks on one side of the classroom, and you're going to spread out the computers in a row, and you're going to have your students stand in lines, and this is going to become even more relay-y than the other version. So your students are going to stand in lines. The first person in line is going to run over to their bank of computers, or walk quickly, up to you, safety first. They're going to run over to the computers, they're going to pick one with the correct answer, hopefully. They'll select it, and then they'll run back to their team and go to the end of the line. The next person will go, and so forth, right? Relay style. This one is so fun. It can be a little stressful for the individual students because of that race feeling and that stress and that pressure, but some of them love it. Some of them, it's a variation. You can just mix it up. So that way you don't have to do this one every single time. Space can obviously be a consideration, right? When we play this game in my classroom, backpacks under the desks, because otherwise they're a tripping hazard as they're going around the group. Sometimes we have too many bodies in the room to do this game, and so we just don't do this variation. Sometimes I take them out to a hallway or to a shared space. Maybe I can use the media center for the day. Maybe we go outside, although test the Wi-Fi on a different outside trip because sometimes the Wi-Fi gets weaker outside, so don't bank your whole class period on playing Quizlet Live Relay outside and then get outside and find out, oh, Wi-Fi doesn't work to play this game. It also might be a great option to play if you have a whole bunch of students gone, like say juniors are taking an ACT or something like that, and so a third of your class is gone. Quizlet Live Relay variation is perfect because now you have a chunk of kids gone and there's less bodies moving in a small space. Variation number 3 is called Cacophony, something that I had been doing for a long time before I actually saw the variation blog post from Quizlet, but I just called it, hey, we don't have a lot of class time left and we're going to use it, so don't move, we're just playing this game, which is exactly how you play this variation. So Quizlet Live splits up your students into groups, and usually when you play Quizlet Live, you have your students move around the classroom to find their new group of students, sit together, and their teams are working together. In this variation, instead of having your students find their new group, they're going to remain in their seats, and they are just, I hesitate to say yell, but they're yelling. They're yelling to their teammates that are across the classroom saying, do you have this? I don't have that. Who's got this? It's this answer. Okay, that one is a great one because if they don't know their other classmates' names by this point, they have to figure out who is on their team and they have to know who they're working with. Otherwise, they'll listen to somebody else who's saying, it's this one, and they'll click it, and then their teammates are going to go, ah, that wasn't it. You know, it's super fun. It does get very noisy. Do not play this variation when the classes next to you are testing. They will not appreciate it. Have you tried any of these variations? Comment below and let me know if you have, and if you have, which one is your favorite. Relay tends to be my favorite, but you know what? The silent tag team is a really fun one when you need kind of a quiet day, and they work really well together as a team. Anyways, let me know which one is your favorite down in the comment box below, and if you're looking for more review game options you can play with your students, make sure you check out my video here on 13 review games you can play with your Spanish classes. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.